Fourth seal, Revelation 6:7-8, the pale horse and the corruption of Christendom. The fourth seal unveils a pale horse, symbolizing death and destruction, with Hades following close behind. This period, from 1000 CE to 1209 CE, saw the rise of spiritual and political decay within Christendom, leading to violent conflicts, oppression, and the foundation for the widespread persecution of believers seen in the fifth seal. Revelation 6, verse 7-8, KJV. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Interpretation of the fourth seal. The pale horse represents the culmination of corruption, lawlessness, and widespread devastation in Christendom. Unlike the earlier seals, which introduced religious and economic oppression, this period is marked by outright death and destruction on a massive scale. The rider, Death, symbolizes the spiritual and physical death brought about by religious corruption and militarization. Hades following represents the continued decay of Christendom, as many were led into falsehood and oppression. The authority over a fourth of the earth suggests that this corruption affected a significant portion of Europe, particularly within the Holy Roman Empire and the Papal States. The methods of death, sword, hunger, death, beasts, represents warfare, famine, disease, and oppressive rulers acting as wild beasts against the faithful. This period set the stage for the violent suppression of dissenters seen in the fifth seal, as Rome sought to consolidate power and silence opposition. Key events, 1000 CE, 1209 CE. 1. The rise of feudal Christendom and religious militarization. The power of the papacy expanded, intertwining with secular rulers to control vast territories. Church officials accumulated wealth, increasing tensions between religious authorities and the common people. 2. The Gregorian reforms and papal supremacy, 11th century. Pope Gregory II, R. Mine 773 to 85, pushed for papal supremacy, asserting that the Pope had absolute authority over all rulers. This led to conflicts such as the investiture controversy, where kings and emperors fought over control of church appointments. The struggle between Pope Gregory II and Emperor Henry IV demonstrated the growing thirst for power within the church. 3. The First and Second Crusades, 1096 to 1149. The call for holy war marked a shift in Christendom, where military campaigns were justified in the name of God. Instead of focusing on spiritual renewal, the church sanctioned violence, promising salvation to crusaders. The Crusades reinforced papal authority while leading to mass slaughter and widespread devastation. 4. The oppression of religious dissenters. By the late 12th century, groups such as the Waldensians and Cathars began to question the corruption of the established church. In response, the church condemned these movements, labeling them as heretics and preparing for the violent persecutions of the fifth seal. The meaning of the four judgments. Revelation 6:8 states that four means of judgment were given to the rider. 1. The sword represents the wars and military conflicts initiated by the church, including the Crusades. 2. Hunger reflects the economic oppression caused by feudalism, where common people were burdened with heavy taxation. 3. Death indicates plagues, disease, and widespread suffering resulting from war and famine. 4. The beasts of the earth symbolizes oppressive rulers and religious authorities who acted as wild beasts devouring their subjects. The pale horse and the transition to the fifth seal. As this period of death and destruction reached its peak, the papacy turned its attention inward. While earlier persecution focused on external enemies, such as Muslims during the Crusades, by the early 13th century, Rome sought to crush dissent within Christendom itself. The Albigensian Crusade, 1209 to 1229, the subject of the fifth seal, was a direct result of this era of corruption. The militarization of the church, its consolidation of power, and its increasing intolerance toward dissenters set the stage for the violent suppression of the Cathars, Waldensians, and other persecuted groups. Conclusion: the fourth seal as the prelude to persecution. The fourth seal represents a period of increasing spiritual and moral decay, as the church shifted from a spiritual institution to a political and military power. The Crusades, papal supremacy, and suppression of dissent created an environment of death and destruction, paving the way for the widespread martyrdom seen in the fifth seal. As corruption deepened, the faithful suffered under the weight of oppressive rulers, famine, and war. Yet, the judgment of the fifth seal reminds us that their cries for justice would not go unheard.